What is going on, guys? Back with another video. Today I have my boy Marco in the house again, and it's 370Z, so we're doing some work to the Z. So as you guys know, car show season 2018 is in full effect, so of course we have to do some car show season prep. You know, Marco has always had like a kind of like a neochrome looking wrap over the headlights, and that's because it's kind of hazy. So what we're gonna do is restore those headlights. So in an older video, I did that to my EK Civic. So if you guys haven't seen that video, you can check it out. But yeah, how we're gonna restore it? There's many different ways, the many different methods, but this is the permanent method. I'm sure you guys might have, some of you guys might have heard. There's the way people like buy like a little headlights restoration kit from like AutoZone, or using like the toothpaste method or bug spray method. All those are temporary fixes. I actually tried a lot of those methods, all those methods on my EK Civic lens before, so I know they last for a few months and then they go hazy again. But yeah, this is a permanent method. I've done it on my Civic for, it's been almost a year now, and it's still good, still looks the same. But what we're gonna do is, so right now Marco's just masking it out, so masking all around the lens, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit it with some sandpaper. We're gonna wet sand it. So I have 400 grit, 600 grit, and 2000 grit sandpaper. You can get this at your local Lowe's or Home Depot. So hit it with the 400 grit sandpaper first, which is the roughest. You're gonna get all that oxidation out, and then make sure you wet sand it. So by wet sand I mean spraying water. Well, if you don't have a spray bottle, you can just use like, you know, dip it in water and make sure it's wet. But if you don't wet sand it, you're gonna leave scratches on your headlight. So you know, always make sure the surface is wet when you sand it down. So 400 grit, 600 grit, and then 2000 grit will be the finest. And then once you're done with that, let it dry, you know, wipe it down, and it's still gonna look a little hazy, but not from the oxidation. And then you're gonna just, you know, we're gonna use some newspaper, mask it all around again, and hit it with clear coat. So you can get this clear coat. I got it from my local Lowe's. Again, AutoZone, Lowe's, Home Depot, you can get it. Make sure to look for one that has UV protection and non-yellowing, because some clear coats actually leave a little like yellow film. So make sure it's non-yellowing. So we mask out the headlights on both sides. So right now what we're gonna do is gonna hit it with that wet sand. So first, spray down with some water. Make sure it's all nice and wet. And then once the whole surface is really wet, we're gonna get some sandpaper. And like I said, we're gonna hit it with the 400 grit sandpaper first. We're gonna hit and down the 400 grit. As you can see, it's a little cloudy, milky looking. It's supposed to look like that. And I'm not sure if you guys can see, but whenever I sand it down, make sure to bring it in a straight line down, because you don't want, you know, circles, swirl marks, or anything like that. And then next we're gonna do the 600 grit sandpaper. So we're gonna take a small piece, just split it in half. So the higher the number for your sandpaper, the more smooth it is. So you always want to start with a really, you know, a lower number, just because it's rougher. So same thing, you get to sanding it down, wet sand it. Alright, so we're done with the 600 grit sandpaper. As you can see, it's a little more milky. It's supposed to be like that, so don't be scared. And right now, going with the 2000 grit. So this is the final sandpaper we're using. Really smooth.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, because I know some people, when you see like all milky and stuff, they're like, oh shit, did I do it the wrong way? But it's supposed to haze up like that.
We should just keep it like this, bro. Get that smoke.
Just make sure you feel it's really smooth. It's like baby skin. Yeah, so 2000 grit sandpaper. We're gonna hit it down again, wet sand. So once that is done, wipe it down, and then make sure it's really dry, and we're gonna hit it with the clear coat. are done with sanding it down with the 2000 grit sandpaper. So it's still a little foggy. That's just how it's supposed to be. Like I said, make sure that you can see the straight lines. And then we also went ahead and masked it all out with newspaper because we're gonna hit it down with that clear coat. So again, you can get your clear coat from Lowe's, AutoZone. But if you want to use the same one I use, it's Rust-Oleum. And just to give you guys an example, a while back, almost a year back, I did my EK Civic headlights, and it's still clear. I mean, it's a little dirty right now, but it's still clear, perfectly fine, no scratches, no fading at all on both sides. So yeah, like I said, this is a permanent method, should last for years. So we're gonna hit it down with that clear coat. We'll do maybe 2 or 3 coats. First coat is kind of light, second coat a little heavier. If you want to go third coat, we'll go on more. Let it dry overnight, let it bake in the sun, and then tomorrow, off camera, Marco's gonna sand it down again with 2000 grit sandpaper. So just really light, just to take off any like little bubbles and stuff like that, so that it will feel smooth like this. So let's get to it. Done, first coat, so you can see it's much clearer, but it's not gonna look like that. We're gonna hit it down probably with another 2 more coats, but for now we're gonna make sure it's really dry. So it's been about probably 30 minutes or so. First coat is pretty dry, as you can see, so we're gonna get to putting a few more coats. This side came out really well. This side a little bit of overspray, but yeah, like I said, the more coats you do, you kind of layer over, and then tomorrow Marco's gonna use a 2000 grit sandpaper and get it really smooth. So pretty much we are almost done with the process. So like I said, we let the clear coat dry, and Marco's gonna go ahead and wet sand it down tomorrow with a 2000 grit sandpaper, and we should be all set after curing in the sun for 24 hours. So right now, we're gonna get a cold start for you guys. So that's my boy Marco leaving in style in his 370Z. If you guys want to catch more crazy videos like that, especially if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button. You can follow my boy Marco on Instagram. I'll link his Instagram right here, Marco Shiro Z. So yeah, I upload videos 3 times a week, every Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays at 9 AM. Leave a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.